Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about how to turn your small business into your full-time income. Today we're going to talk about how to write an Amazon listing that sells. Now, when running an Amazon business, there's obviously so many different steps to getting your business set up, but one of the most important pillars of your Amazon business is your listing itself. If you don't have a good listing, then you're not going to convert. People may click on your listing, but they're not going to buy. So today we're going to cover all of our bases so that you know exactly how to write an Amazon listing that sells. So first, I want to cover all of the different sections of an Amazon listing that you're going to need to optimize. First, you're going to have your title. You're also going to have your images, and you have 10 image slots, and I recommend you fill all of them out. You have your bullet points, your questions area, and your A+ content or your description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop behind my computer so I can show you guys exactly how to build a listing. So I'm going to go through the whole thing with you, and I'm going to build a dummy listing so we can go through it together. Now, before we go through this together, I want to talk about when to actually start building your Amazon listing. So when is the appropriate time to go in and optimize all of these titles, all of the bullet points, and everything like that? You're going to want to create a brief Amazon listing. This is going to be your first step, and you do this when you are ready to ship the labels to your supplier so they can go on and finish the packaging. Now, the reason why you're just creating a brief dummy listing is because you don't actually need to optimize it just yet. You still have a lot of time in between when the supplier is getting your inventory ready and when it's going to go into the Amazon warehouse. Keep this in mind. When you first place your order with your supplier, that's when you create a dummy brief listing. And then afterwards, when you're waiting for your inventory to be done, that's when you're gonna go in and optimize your listing. Okay, so now I've started recording my screen and sharing it with you guys so you can see here that this is where you start off when you're trying to add a new listing. So you're gonna go on here, those three little dashes at the top left corner, and then you're gonna click on inventory and you're gonna click on add a product. Now, in most cases, you're going to be adding a product that is not sold on Amazon. The only time that you are adding a product that is already sold on Amazon is when this product is a well-known brand or a product that already has a UPC and you've just bought some of it, let's say on Walmart, and you want to sell it on somebody else's listing. So we're not gonna do that right now. Right now we're doing, I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. Then you're going to search for the most appropriate categories. So for me, it was sunglasses, but for you, it could be anything between like baby products or just whatever describes your product the most. You want to think, which category is your customer going to go into to find your product? So the most appropriate one. So for me, I'm gonna go with sunglasses because that's the most appropriate one for me. All right, and you can see here, I just wanna show you that we're going very deep into the categories. So you can search whatever your product is and Amazon will give you examples. So you can see that this is clothing, shoes, and jewelry, and then it went into women, and then it went into accessories, then sunglasses and eyewear, and then sunglasses. So it's not just one category, sunglasses, and that's it. It's actually going to be showing up for all of these different categories, but this is just going deeper and deeper and deeper, so it's more niche down. So your first thing over here is, does this product have variations? You're going to click no, and I'm going to show you later what to do when you do have variations for your product, but for now we're going to click no. And then for product ID over here, this is where you fill in your barcode. So I've covered this in other videos, but you get your barcode from gs1us.org. And when you are going to purchase a minimum of 10 barcodes, and when you do purchase them, it's going to give you a GTIN number or a UPC number. So this is where you put that in over here, and then you're going to select whether it's GTIN or UPC. So we're just gonna put this in now just for the sake of this video. And then product name is the title. So this is where right now, if you were to create your dummy listing or your brief listing, this wouldn't matter so much at the moment. But if you want to optimize, then you're gonna need to fill this with keywords, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But for now, let's pretend like you're creating a dummy brief listing. So what you want to put first is your brand name, because the way that I teach it is you are going to be creating a brand for your Amazon business. So you're going to put in your brand name first. So let's say, for example, it's Own the Trend. That's for me. And then you're gonna put in a brief description of what this product is. So if it's sunglasses, then you're gonna put in sunglasses. It's a cat eye and it's black. Now, when it comes to brand over here, this is Amazon trying to know which brand is your product. So obviously if you've just created your brand yourself, Amazon is not really going to recognize it. The only time that Amazon does recognize it is when you've bought a trademark for your brand, you've registered for a trademark, and you've registered your trademark on the Amazon brand registry. That's something completely different. I would say don't worry about that right now, especially when you're first starting out your business, because Amazon brand registry is very expensive. You have two options here. So you can either put in your brand name and then it's going to give you an error, and I'll tell you how to fix that error later on, or you can put in generic. I don't recommend doing generic because when you list your listing under the generic brand name, that means you're not really protected by the Amazon brand registry system. So that means anybody can list the same product as yours. They can just buy it from Alibaba, from your same supplier, and they can list it on your listing for, let's say, 10 to 20 cents cheaper, and they will always get the sale. And that's because Amazon will always prioritize the customer first. So if Amazon sees that the customer can get a better deal, there's no brand to the product, so it doesn't really matter. They're always going to give the sale to the person that's selling it for the least amount. So that's what happens when you sell as generic. For you to avoid this, you would put in your brand name, and then it's going to give you an error called error 5665, and you're going to get in contact with the Amazon seller support, and you're going to let them know I experienced error 5665, and they're going to ask you to send a picture of your product with the packaging with your brand name on it and the barcode on it as well. And then once you send that in, they're going to allow you to list your product under your own brand. So you still get those benefits, but you don't have to pay for the trademark. And then you're going to fill out the rest over here. These are just the mandatory areas. So it just asks for, you know, the department, whether it's boys, men's, girls, babies, whatever. And then item shape, because these are sunglasses. So depending on the category that you're selling in, this is probably going to vary a little bit differently because they want to know different information. So just fill it out depending on your product itself. Now, this variation section, we're not going to touch. Even if you have variations, we're not going to touch this right now. And then we're going to go into the offer, the seller SKU. This is going to be an internal SKU that you create within your own company. So you could call this whatever you want. It's basically just kind of like a small code or a name, short name, just to identify which product this is, which color, which size, and it's completely within your own company. Amazon has nothing to do with it. But please do keep in mind that when you do put in that seller SKU, you're not going to be able to change it later on. Then we're going to move on to price over here. So you're going to put in the price that you're listing your product for, and check off over here the Amazon will ship and provide customer service, so fulfilled by Amazon. This is very important. It's not merchant fulfilled. This is Amazon fulfilled. And the item condition over here, we're gonna put it as new. And then this over here is the section where you fill out your images. This is amazing because you have 9 image slots that are allowed. So you really want to take advantage of this and fill out all of these images. So we'll talk about that more a little bit later, but you definitely want to take advantage of this and keep this in mind when you're creating your content. Okay, so now I've pulled up a listing of this truff hot sauce, which is a hot sauce that I love, and I think they're doing a really good job on their listing. So I've pulled it up for you so we can talk about how to optimize your listing when it is the time for that. So first we spoke about, you know, creating that brief listing where you're just doing that so you can get your barcodes for your supplier. Now it's time for you to start optimizing your listing, meaning your inventory is almost done. It's going to get into the Amazon warehouse and you're almost going to go live with your product. So let's say you have like a month or a few weeks left until you go live with your product. So now it's time to visit the optimization level. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the title over here. So as you can see with this hot sauce, they have used a lot of important keywords for their listing. So the first 3 words is original black truffle hot sauce. And that's great because they literally wrote what somebody would search if they were looking for a truffle hot sauce. So that's the most important thing, is you want to find the long tail. Well, actually, maybe I should explain this first. So you have short tail and long tail keywords. So short tail is 1 to 2 words and long tail is 3 to 4 words. So long tail is usually easier to target, especially at the beginning. You're not gonna have as much competition. Short tail is usually a lot more brief, it's a lot more broad, so it's harder to target because it usually has a lot more search volume. So what you want to target first is the long tail keywords, and you want to put that at the very beginning of your listing. So right after your brand name, so you always include your brand name first. You can see here they included truff, and then right after your brand name, you're going to put your main long tail keyword. So that's what they did right here. Original black truffle hot sauce. Now, if you want to learn how to do your keyword research, this is a whole other video, and you can also learn it through my course on FBA Academy. I'm gonna leave a link down below where I go through all of that into detail on how to find your main short tail and long tail keywords. So I like that they put this here, and then after that they went into another long tail keyword, which is gourmet hot sauce with ripe chili peppers, and then they have black truffle oil, which is also probably another keyword that they are targeting, organic agave nectar, unique flavor experience in a bottle. So I like that they have a lot of their main keywords here, but also it's still readable. So you do want to, put a lot of keywords in your title, but you still want to make sure that the customer is able to read it and understand what this product is about. So what I find a lot is with a lot of listings, they really keyword stuff their titles, so when you're reading it, it's just a bunch of random words. So that's not the way to go. You want to use phrases that are keyword heavy and keyword rich, but are still easy to read. So that's what they did really greatly over here. And then we're going to move on to the bullet points. So the bullet points is something that's very important, because keep in mind that most people are not really going to read the whole text in the bullet points. So you really want to focus on the first sentence or the first, let's say, 5 to 10 words. And with the bullet points, you don't just want to mention the features of your product, you want to mention the benefits. So how is your product benefiting the customer? What is your customer going to get out of it? So you want to fill out 5 of these bullet points with the benefits of your product. The way to find that is think of the feature, how it's going to affect the customer, and then you get out the benefit. So have that in the first 5 to 10 words of your listing, and you also want to reflect this in your images. So your images should kind of go hand in hand with your bullet points. So whatever benefits you're mentioning in your bullet points, you also want to showcase that in your images so that your customer doesn't just get the words, they also get the visual. So I love how over here, this image right here really has the hot sauce front and center, and they have it as big as you can possibly have it on the picture. Amazon has guidelines where you have to fill around, I think it's 80 to 85% of the picture, but I say, fill even more than that. Like, you want the picture to really stand out, so you want it to be as big as possible. And they have a very bright color because the truffle sauce itself is red. They also have over here the main ingredients at the bottom of the picture, and they're very brightly colored, they're very glossy, so they really grab your attention. So this is a really great image. So even when you get your product photography back, you want to enhance some of the colors. Bright colors really grab a lot of attention. So if you enhance these colors and make the image look very refined, it's really going to grab people's attention. Now, if you take a look at the second image over here, this is great because they're really showcasing the truffle sauce in action. So this is going to apply to you no matter what your product is. You want to show your product in action. You want to show people using it. You want to have a lot of lifestyle pictures. Let's say for me, if it's sunglasses, then it's somebody wearing the sunglasses. So you really want to show your product in action. This is very important so that the customer is able to take a look at the picture and envision themselves using this product. So over here, you see they really highlighted the benefits of this product. So they said vegan, it's gluten-free. So they have the visual part over here ready for you to be able to see and understand the benefits of this product. They also have the nutritional facts, which is very important. And I like how over here they have 2 videos. So I believe now you are able to insert a video whether you have brand registry or not. So this is a great advantage because with the video, people are able to see the product in the 360 view. They're able to see it in action. They're able to visualize it a lot better than with just a picture. So definitely, please take advantage of the video aspect of the Amazon listing. Try to include as many pictures as possible that helps your customer visualize the product. So whether it's measurements, features, benefits, different angles of the product and the product in action. So you want to take advantage of all 9 pictures. And then you also want to get a video of your product so that they are able to see it in action in 360 view and moving. Now we're gonna move on to the description or the A+ content. For you to get A+ content, you would need to do the trademark registration that I was talking about. So you definitely don't need this at the beginning. A lot of people make a lot of money with their listings without having A+ content. So don't worry too much about it. But if you do have the budget for it and you did do the brand registry, it's really great to again just highlight all of the benefits of your product in the A+ content, really showcase a lot of people using it. I like how over here they used very simple images, nothing too distracting, but they still have their features written out over here. It's very minimal text, which let's be honest is great because nobody is going to read a full-on paragraph about your product. And they have over here some PR that they were featured in. So this is great because it gives them credibility, gives them social proof, and they are still highlighting the product and its benefits. Now this over here is a very important section, which is the customer questions. So even if you don't have any customers, asking these questions right now, I think you can go in and post a question yourself. And this is great because it addresses the customer's concerns. Over here, you can say, is this, like you can see here, a customer is asking, is it medium hot or is it very hot? So if anybody does ask a question over here from your customers, it's very important to go in and answer it because a lot of people will probably have the same concern or the same question. Or you could, post it yourself for these questions just so you can address your customers' concerns beforehand so everything is covered and they don't have to wait until they get back an answer and then purchase your product. Alright, so that is it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. Let's talk about it in the comments and let me know if you have any more questions about building a listing or any more suggestions on how to build a great listing that converts. Maybe something that I didn't mention in this video. So let's have a conversation in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people benefit from these comments as well, and I'll go in there and I'll answer your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye.